everybody? Welcome to Funky Friday, episode 30. I am your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for joining me here. Alrighty, so, for today we got a special album here. This is going out to Funketeer 17. This is via request. Ironically enough, this is actually an album I had on a list to do for Funky Fridays, so I just bumped it right to the top and did it this week. It's an album that I've always loved with a passion, and like I said, I intended to do this one. It was just hadn't made its way into the video yet. So, this is an album that I find is really, really overlooked. It doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I'm not really too sure why. Maybe because maybe it didn't get a lot of radio play back in the day. I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened. They did have a fair amount of singles for the amount of songs that they had on this record. It consists of 3 members. The members are Coke, Motive, and Dr. Seuss, and I am talking about Madcap's Look Ma Duke, No Hands. This is a really, really fucking fantastic album. Released on Loud Records in 1993. It's just a great, great put-together album. Now, I've heard people classify this record as like an EP because it does only have 9 songs. The thing is, though, this album runs 50 minutes long. It doesn't really feel like an EP when you listen to it because, like I said, 9 songs running 50 minutes. It's quite a lengthy, kind of EP/album, I guess. Getting into the MCs, Coke, Motive, and Dr. Seuss, they do a really good job. They're not like the world's greatest MCs or nothing, but it doesn't really matter. What they're doing in this record really does work with the beats. Their flows and stuff, I find that they really do change it up from like a little slower beats to faster beats. They change tempos perfectly. My biggest complaint with the MCs that I've always had on with Madcap is the fact that the lack of, I guess, identity between all 3 MCs. I would say, I don't know how to really put that without I'm not trying to talk down about them, but, from one MC to the next, they're not overly, distinctive. I guess that's what I'm saying. And I'll bring that point up later on. But getting into the beats, the whole album's produced by Broadway. He worked with King T. I believe he also worked with the Alcoholics. And actually, most recently, he did a couple beats on the WC and Daz record, West Coast Gangsta Shit, that just came out. I was looking up the credits, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, and then I recognized his name from the album, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so the beats, all produced by Broadway on here. They're very 93, 92, 93-ish kind of esque beats, very jazzy influenced. And with that said, Dr. Seuss actually plays live trumpet on a bunch of songs on here. I think he plays it on, I know he plays 3 or 4 songs. He plays on the Whole Kit Kaboodle. I know that was actually one of their singles. He plays live trumpet on that song. He also plays on When It Rains It Pours, and of course Proof is in the Pudding. Yeah, he plays on that song too. Proof is in the Pudding is like one of the best songs on the album. But, with that said, every song on this album is fantastic. It's got a really interesting structure to the album. There's quite a few skits and stuff after the songs that are just kind of built into it. I do like the way they did it on the back here. They kind of break down the times, for the length of the song and the skits and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. And the skits are fucking fantastic. Really funny stuff. Really just, I love the skit about the khakis. It's absolutely great. This was just such a fun listen this week. Again, just revisiting this one. Like I said, I hadn't listened to this album in a while, and it was just such a blast from the past. Every song on this record is just awesome. Here Comes the Break, right off the start, just amazing stuff. The Whole Kit and Caboodle, it's just basically them just being kind of goofy and fucking around. They kind of remind me of the Licks in a way, but not maybe as funny as the Alcoholics. I don't know. Irrelevant, really dope. When It Rains It Pours, awesome. Check It Out, I fucking love that song. And then you got the song Fuck What You Heard. Check It Out actually has King T on it and Tash from the Alcoholics. And what I was talking about being very distinctive and not really having their own identities, when you listen to Check It Out in the album, everyone, it's just a huge posse cut. The verses that stick out in that track is King T and Tash's verse, for sure. They're so distinctive in that song. But you know, nothing to take away anything from the other MCs, Coke Motive and Dr. Seuss. Like I think they did a really great job. So, fuck what you heard. Proof is in the Pudding is probably one of the best songs of the album. It's just a fantastic. It's got a really jazzy kind of bass line in there. I think, you know, Broadway did a really great job with the beats, man. Kind of capturing different types of styles. Like, you can really tell that this album was influenced by jazz music. I mean, the bass lines alone, obviously the drums and stuff, and the trumpets and stuff, but Betty Bye actually has the Alcoholics in that track too, which is very cool. It's too bad that these guys didn't do more work with like the Liquid Crew and stuff, because I think they could have really, you know, kind of done some really good shit later on. And the last song on the album called Dopest Verse, which is just, you know, it's a song with just them on it, but they just keep kicking the fucking verses. I think each guy has like 2 verses or something. The song runs, you know, 6 minutes long, and it's just them kicking fucking dope rhymes. Very, very entertaining album. You know, for an album with 9 songs running 50 minutes, you think that would be a little overkill. It doesn't feel like it when you listen to it. It's just a really well-structured album, great skits, and, you know, just a really good West Coast album. You know, it's like, the content isn't gangster at all. It's just, it's kind of like what you expect from the early 90s. It's kind of like the Alcoholics meet kind of like, you know, Leaders of the New School kind of meet, you know, stuff like that. You know, maybe like, I don't know. I hate comparing groups to other groups. I hate doing that. But, yeah, overall, man, this is a great album. If I had to rate this, I'd definitely give it like probably 4.5 out of 5. It's just one of those untalked about, overlooked gems, you know. I hate using the word underrated because it just gets overused, but it's just overlooked, I think. You know, it's, you know, and with that said, it might have something to do with the fact of when it came out in 93 too. I've talked about this before. There's certain years in hip-hop where there's certain albums that were just so elevated in the hip-hop community that some of these, you know, lesser-known albums didn't really get the push, maybe by Loud Records, I don't know, or just didn't get the notoriety and the radio play as some of these other records. Like, I mean, 93 had so many phenomenal albums. I mean, where does Madcap really fit into that? But you know, it's a shame, too, because, like I said, it could have a lot to do with, you know, pushing the album by Loud. So, who knows what it is? These guys are hailing from, I believe, Los Angeles. I've always had that impression they're from Los Angeles. So, you know, of course, from the licks and stuff like that too. But I mean, what else could I say about this album? It's just a really, really structured, well-structured album. Fantastic, entertaining. It's everything you want in a hip-hop record, especially from this time. Yeah, just a fucking great album. Now, I did do a little bit of research on some prices for this, because I know this album's been out of print for a long time. So I looked on Discogs. They had one copy on there, was starting at like 26 or 27 bucks. Went to Amazon. The Amazon prices were ridiculous. They were starting at like 25 bucks for the CD, going as high as like 130. The vinyl was just as ridiculous. eBay was actually the best. I noticed that there was a newly listed CD of this for 10 bucks, like $3 shipping. So if anyone's watching this and wants to copy this, go check out eBay right now, because it was like the first listing that I came across there. And there were some other ones that weren't bad, so if that one's not there, I think there was a couple that there were like 12 bucks. I didn't check the shipping prices, but I thought that was very interesting that the CD was going for like $10.99. It didn't seem like it was a promo or anything, and for $3 shipping, if you can get this album for under $15, that's a fucking score. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a fucking gem. It definitely needs to be in everyone's collection, especially if you like this early 90s hip-hop and that type of sound. You'll really enjoy this if you've never heard this album, so I highly recommend this. And thank you once again, a big shout out goes to Funketeer17 for, you know, making me do this record and make me listen to this album all week, because I just had a fucking blast. You know, I even had this shit bumping at work, and people were like, what is this? This is fucking dope. You know, and that really brings a smile to my face, because it's an album that people need to hear. So, but yeah, I think I've ranted enough. Not ranted, but just went on enough about this album. Please, people, try to check this album out if you've never checked it out. It's fantastic, and I know most people that are watching this have probably heard this album before, may not own it, but like I said, I did do a little bit of research to try and help you out, so try and pick this album up. Alrighty, so Moon616 signing off for episode 30, which I guess is kind of a milestone. So, And yes, I have been on a roll. I've done like 7 of these in a row, so I'm doing pretty good. But I'm having lots of fun doing this. And you know what? I have some reviews I'm going to be posting up. I don't like to post too many videos each day and stuff, so I don't like to, go overkill with the videos and shit. So, anyways, Madcap, Look Ma, Duke, No Hands. Check it out. I'm out of here. Peace, guys.